The earliest known depiction of boxing dates back to the 3rd millennium BC. Since that time, the sweet science has produced some of the most iconic moments in all of sports. Given its popularity and potential for big money bouts, it's no surprise that several UFC stars have stepped into the boxing ring. In this episode, we'll take a look at some of the most notable MMA boxing crossovers to date. Now, without further ado, and ranked in no particular order, here are 10 MMA fighters who competed in boxing. Number 10. Conor McGregor. The notorious Conor McGregor has taken mixed martial arts to a level few thought possible in terms of popularity. The former two-division champ's ability to build anticipation for his bouts, with a healthy dose of trash-talking, has made him a legend in his own time. Still, despite all the success he's enjoyed with the UFC, the Irishman's biggest combat sports payday came outside of the octagon. Of course, we're talking about the famed money fight with former 5-division boxing champion Floyd Mayweather. The crossover bout was preceded by a media tour that helped generate additional buzz for the highly anticipated meeting. During the scrums, both fighters proved they could more than hold their own in the trash-talking department. Finally, on August 26th in 2017, the two icons met at the T-Mobile Arena in Nevada. Though he was making his pro boxing debut against an all-time great, McGregor had a respectable showing. The notorious one managed to make it into the 10th round before eventually being TKO'd. Still, despite the setback, Conor McGregor reportedly took home an estimated $130 million for his efforts, substantially more than he has made for any of his fights in the UFC. Number 9. Tyron Woodley. An accomplished NCAA Division I wrestler, the chosen one, Tyron Woodley, is a former UFC welterweight champion with a Hall of Fame-worthy resume. This past May, a massive paycheck lured the MMA star into the boxing ring. Woodley's opponent would be polarizing social media sensation Jake the Problem Child Paul. In an effort to add to the hype, the two men made a bet in which the loser of the match would get a tattoo, professing their love for their opponent. Despite nearly scoring a knockdown in round 4, the former MMA champion was outpointed by the YouTube star. In the end, Jake Paul would be declared the victor via split decision. True to his word, Woodley would end up getting an I Love Jake Paul tattoo, symbolically placed on his middle finger. Number 8. Vitor Belfort. Rio de Janeiro's Vitor the Phenom Belfort is widely considered a legend in MMA and has knocked out some of the biggest names in the sport. Recently, the Brazilian decided to take his world-class knockout power into the boxing ring. Initially, Belfort made his boxing debut against a relatively unknown fighter in 2006, winning the match via TKO in the opening minute. Roughly 15 years later, Belfort would once again return to the boxing ring. In June of 2021, it was reported that Belfort was scheduled to fight former 6th-division champion Oscar De La Hoya. However, when the De La Hoya fight fell through, the Phenom would be pitted against another legend in Evander Holyfield. The fight was controversial due to the former heavyweight champion's age. Holyfield was 58 years old when he stepped into the ring to face a 44-year-old Belfort last September. Sadly, the aging boxing legend looked like a shell of his former self, and was easily bested by the younger MMA fighter, who scored a KO victory in just over a minute. Number 7. Israel Adesanya. Unlike our previous entrants, who dabbled in boxing for a quick payday, the last stylebender Israel Adesanya had a relatively lengthy and successful boxing career. The reigning UFC middleweight champion made a name for himself competing in New Zealand, where he participated in the National Boxing Federation's Super 8 tournament in 2014 and 2015. In May of 2015, Adesanya took home 25,000 New Zealand dollars by defeating finalist Brian Minto via split decision, winning his first Super 8 tournament. He would defend his cruiserweight crown in the following tournament by once again advancing to the finals, beating Lance Bryant via unanimous decision. Of course, the last stylebender would go on to use his slick boxing skills in the UFC, which helped him capture the middleweight title in 2019. Number 6. Holly Holm. The preacher's daughter Holly Holm became an instant MMA superstar by knocking out Ronda Rousey at UFC 193, scoring one of the biggest upsets in the sport's history. However, long before the head kick heard round the world, the Albuquerque native had a phenomenal boxing career. In truth, Holly Holm is far and away the most accomplished boxer on our list. She was twice named Ring Magazine's Female Fighter of the Year in 2005 and 2006, respectively. Holly Holm's resume includes wins over Mary Jo Sanders, Christy Martin, and Anne-Sophie Matisse. With a 33-2-3 professional record, the former multi-time world champion is widely considered one of the best female boxers of all time. Holly Holm is also the first, and thus far only fighter to win both World Boxing and UFC titles. Number 5. Michael Venom Page. England's Michael Venom Page has become a fan favorite in Bellator MMA with an unorthodox, fan-friendly striking style. The welterweight contender is also sporting a stellar 20-1 professional mixed martial arts record. However, some fans may not be aware that MVP is also an undefeated pro boxer. Since signing with Haymaker Ringstar in 2017, Page has fought 2 times, finishing both of his opponents via knockout. These days, the MMA standout has his sights set on Bellator Gold, and following his recent victory over Douglas Lima, a title shot could be forthcoming. Number 4. Anderson Silva. With a record-setting UFC title reign that lasted 2,457 days, Anderson Silva is the consensus greatest middleweight champion of all time. The future Hall of Famer holds signature wins over Rich Franklin, Dan Henderson, and Vitor Belfort, just to name a few. During the early portion of his career, the Spider also dabbled in boxing, competing in 2 professional bouts in 1998 and 2005 respectively. Upon his release from the UFC in November of 2020, the Brazilian icon decided to dust off his boxing gloves and continue his combat sports career. In his first pro contest in roughly 16 years, a 46-year-old Silva defeated former WBC middleweight title holder Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Chavez Jr. was over a decade younger than the Spider and had competed in 59 professional fights. Silva's most recent bout took place last September in a matchup that saw him knock out fellow MMA megastar Tito Ortiz in the first round. Though he's now well into his 40s, it seems as though Anderson Silva still has plenty of fight left in him. Number 3. Kimbo Slice. Kevin Ferguson, better known by his alias Kimbo Slice, is a brawler from the Bahamas, credited with popularizing internet street fighting. A prominent cult figure in the early 2000s, Kimbo Slice's notoriety served as a launching pad for an MMA career that saw him compete in several major promotions, including the UFC. Though he received far less notoriety from 2011 to 2013, the heavy-handed brawler competed as a professional boxer. While mainly fighting unknown competitors with less than spectacular records, Slice managed to end his boxing career with an undefeated 7-0 record. Of his 7 wins, 6 came by way of knockout. Only his third opponent, Charles Hackman, managed to last until the final bell. Number 2. Valentina Shevchenko. UFC Women's Flyweight Champion Valentina Shevchenko has essentially cleaned down her division and made it look easy. At the moment, she seems poised to hold on to her title for as long as she pleases. As the daughter of multi-time Muay Thai champion Valentina Shevchenko, the Bullet has been practicing martial arts since age 5. As such, she has participated in just about every form of combat sports in existence. Outside of MMA, she is best known for competing in Muay Thai. As a Muay Thai competitor, she won 8 gold medals in the World Championships from 2003 to 2014. The younger Shevchenko sister has also tried her hand at boxing, and unsurprisingly, fared quite well. Though she officially has just 2 pro bouts to her credit, the reigning UFC champion won them both. In May of 2010, Shevchenko won her boxing debut via unanimous decision. She followed this up with a 4th-round TKO over her next opponent in 2011. The victories round out an incredibly diverse and impressive combat sports resume. Number 1. Fabio Maldonado. Brazil's Fabio Maldonado is best known for his stint in the UFC, in which he shared the cage with stars like Glover Teixeira, Stipe Miocic, and Quinton Rampage Jackson. Moreover, he has also enjoyed a reasonably lengthy pro boxing career in which he won his first 26 professional fights. The heavy-handed pugilist captured both the UBC Iberian American heavyweight title and the São Paulo State heavyweight strap. In December of 2018, the former UFC competitor unsuccessfully challenged Oscar Rivas for the WBC NABA heavyweight title, resulting in his first professional loss. Fabio Maldonado last boxed in June of 2021, and his pro record currently stands at 27-5. As always, if you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to let me know by leaving a like and subscribing to our channel. Apart from that, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.